Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings and Yahoo for Sunday, May the 2nd. We got a 7-game Sunday slate to break down, so as always, we are going to go game by game and talk about each team on this 7-game slate. I'll give you guys my early thoughts, what does stand out to me looking at the slate on Saturday night, give a little quick breakdown of each game and each team. But before we get started with the breakdown, as always guys, I would appreciate it if you would click that like button down below, and if you are new to the channel here, be sure to click that subscribe button as well. A lot of you that watch my videos are not subscribed, so if you're part of that, if you're not subscribed, be sure to click that subscribe button. Obviously, I do upload a ton of NBA content to this channel, and be sure to click the notification bell as well, so that way you do get notified every time I upload, and you also do get notified every time I live stream. And yeah, if you enjoy these videos, I do have more content on Patreon. I forget to say that, but I give updated core plays on Patreon. I give a lot of updated content over there. So if that is something that does interest you, if you really enjoy my videos, you want to see more that I have to offer, you want to get more content from me, I have core plays, our Discord chat. I do my spreadsheets Monday through Friday, listing off my favorite plays at each position. So you can check that out, link down below on Patreon if that is something that does interest you. But yeah, guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's go ahead and take a look at Sunday's slate. So we'll start off with the Portland and Boston game. Looking at the Blazers side today, I do have some appeal here from Portland. You have Damian Lillard at the top for 9,400. Lillard has not really been someone I've rostered lately. I haven't played Lillard in forever, it feels like. I don't think I'm going to go to Lillard on this slate, but he did actually have a decent game last game against Brooklyn. He finally, looked good after what feels like forever. I mean, it feels like it's been forever since Dame's at least had a good game. He had 50 DK points against Boston when they played like 2 weeks ago, and then he had a really good game against Brooklyn. Out of his last 10 games, he's only got 2 games over 50 fantasy points, but he did play well last game against Brooklyn. We know we're going to get big minutes from Dame. We know this is someone that can go out there and put up 55, 60 fantasy points any night. I would say that his floor is a lot lower than some of the other studs on this slate. Like, obviously, you have Luka. You have, the Lakers guys, LeBron and AD. There's other studs to pay up for. I don't think Lillard's going to be like a top option for me, but I could see getting to him just because at 9,400, Lillard has the upside to, blow that price out of the water. I mean, Lillard can put up 60, 70 any night, and it's not surprising. But just, predicting when he does that, it's obviously tough. Tough matchup here against Boston. I think Lillard's a good tournament play. Between him or CJ McCollum, I think I would rather roster Damian Lillard. But it seems like, with this Portland team, Nurkic is the guy that I like the most, and I think that's once again the case today. So I've played Nurkic literally, I think, 3 straight days. Pretty sure I've played him every slate so far the last 3 days, and he's got really unlucky, losing minutes to blowout. 3 straight games have been a blowout, only 20, 21, and 26 minutes for Nurkic. Last game wasn't as bad against Brooklyn, but he still lost about 3 minutes due to the blowout. But he's still been productive on a point-per-minute basis. He just hasn't played his full minutes in 3 straight games because of blowouts. But this is a game against Boston that should stay close. The matchup here, I would say, is not the best. Like, it could be better, but 7,200, I still feels a little bit too cheap for Nurkic. We saw the massive upside this guy has. I mean, Nurkic can go out there and put up 55, 60 fantasy points any night. He's someone that can stuff the stat sheet, can score, can rebound, can get a few assists. He can get defensive stats. I still like Nurkic a lot today. I think with looking at the box score, people are not going to go to him. He's been pretty low owned these last few slates. I think today he's going to be low owned again. So use of Nurkic, I do like quite a bit on both sides. Hopefully this game can stay close and we actually get full minutes from Nurkic. If we do get 28, 30 minutes from him, he has 40, 50 point upside, even against Boston. So I do really like use of Nurkic. I think Lillard's in play as well. But that probably does it for me from Portland. Now on the Boston side, looking at the Celtics here, Kemba Walker doubtful for Boston today, so he's expected to be out. With him out, we basically know who benefits. It's Jason Tatum and it's Jaylen Brown. Those have been the 2 guys that have really been the consistent options, the guys that give you the most upside. And Tatum, we saw have a massive game last time out against San Antonio. Now, obviously, that game did go to overtime, so Tatum kind of benefited there, but he still was crushing even at the end of regulation. Had 82 DraftKings points, had 60 real-life points. Look, Tatum has that kind of upside. At 9,900, I still think he's a good pay-up option. He was really low owned last slate. He was like 2% owned in most of the tournaments that I was in. I don't think he's going to be that low owned today. I think he'll probably be like 8 to 10% owned. But still, I think Tatum's a good pay-up option. I do feel better about him than a guy like Damian Lillard. So, ranking Lillard or Tatum, I would rather have Tatum. But does Tatum rank ahead of a guy like Luka? I don't think so. I think I'd rather play Luka. I really like Anthony Davis today at his price tag, so we'll talk about him. But I think Tatum is a really good pay-up option. He is probably my favorite play from Boston. If I was going to play a Celtic today, it probably would be Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown, I think, is fine as well, but 8,400. I don't know if I'm going to go to Jaylen Brown at this price tag. He had a pretty bad game last game against San Antonio. Tatum went nuclear, and Brown kind of, had a floor game. He shot the ball terribly, only had 34 DK points, but we know Jaylen Brown does benefit with Kemba Walker out, so he does get a boost. He's definitely viable as well. I would say outside of Tatum and Brown, though, the only other guy I'm probably going to be considering on Boston is Robert Williams. Robert Williams did move back into the starting lineup last game, and he did play 23 minutes. It seems like right now they're pretty content on splitting the center minutes between him and Tristan Thompson. I think Tristan Thompson actually played more minutes than Robert Williams did last game. But, if we do get like 24, 26 minutes from Robert Williams, if he does start again, we know this is a great point per minute player, someone that has massive upside when he does get the minutes. The price tag at 5,200 does feel pretty low for him, especially now that he's back in the starting lineup. So I do have interest in Robert Williams. Outside of Brown and Tatum, he'd be the next guy I would look to on Boston. But that's probably it for me from the Celtics. I don't think I'm considering anyone else. So moving on to the next game, Miami and Charlotte. Now on Miami today, I don't really see much I like here. Tyler Hero and Victor Oladipo both remain out, but Kendrick Nunn, Goran Dragic, Duncan Robinson, all these guys feel kind of priced appropriately. Now, Nunn did have a pretty good game Sunday against Cleveland, had 35 DK points in 36 minutes. He should get big minutes without Oladipo and without Tyler Hero. Dragic, this will be something to keep an eye on. Dragic has been resting on back-to-backs recently, so if we do get word that Dragic is going to be out Sunday, that would obviously change some things. I would definitely like Kendrick Nunn a lot more. But assuming that Dragic plays, I don't have a ton of interest in either of the Miami guards. You should get big minutes for Nunn, but he's not as productive playing alongside Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. He really benefits whenever those guys are out. Jimmy at 9K, I just haven't really played Jimmy lately. I don't think Jimmy's going to be someone I look to on this slate. I'd rather play Tatum. I'd rather play Dame, I think. Same with a guy like, Bam Adebayo. I haven't really played Bam in a while. I don't think I'm going to go to Bam today. I'd rather play Nurkic. There's some other centers I like. So for me, it's really just the guards. If I had to go anywhere on Miami, it would be like Kendrick Nunn or Dragic. If Dragic gets ruled out, though, because of the back-to-back and, his tendency to, sit out back-to-backs, he's been sitting out back-to-backs recently. If we get word that Dragic is out and Hero's out and Oladipo's out, then yeah, fire up Kendrick Nunn. I would like him a lot in that case. But moving on to the Charlotte side, looking at the Hornets here. So Devontae Graham, do need to talk about this. He got injured in Saturday's game. I think I said Sunday, but he's got injured in Saturday's game. Was not able to return. So this will be something to monitor. LaMelo Ball did make his return Saturday, and he did play 28 minutes. Had 35 DK points. They said he wasn't going to be on like a strict minutes limit, but they weren't really going to give him big minutes. So 25 to 30 minutes. That's what I was expecting from LaMelo, and he played around that. So you just keep an eye on this. I don't know, on the back-to-back, are they going to play LaMelo or are they going to rest him? We'll just have to wait and see. I assume LaMelo plays. If we get word that Devontae Graham's out again and, LaMelo plays, like if LaMelo's going to get more than 28 minutes, he's actually a pretty good option at 6,800. Like if we know LaMelo's going to play like 32 minutes, I actually do have a good amount of interest in him at this price tag, but we don't exactly know how many minutes he's going to play here on the back-to-back. Terry Rozier should benefit without Devontae Graham, should get huge minutes. It's 7,500. I don't mind him either. But outside of the guards, I don't think I'm considering anyone else on Charlotte. Miles Bridges had a really good game on Saturday, but 7,100, he feels priced appropriately. I don't think he really stands out at this price point. I'd rather play Rozier. If LaMelo's going to get more minutes, I'd rather play LaMelo over Miles Bridges. So that's probably it from Charlotte here, just the guards for me. Keep an eye on LaMelo's minutes because if he does get more than 28 minutes today, at 6,800, I would actually like LaMelo quite a bit on this slate. And Cody Martin, he started again, but he had a pretty bad game, only 19 DK points in 24 minutes. I think the return of LaMelo definitely hurts Cody Martin, so I don't really have any interest in him. Moving on to the next game, though, we'll talk about Sacramento and Dallas. So on the Sacramento side, we know De'Aaron Fox is going to remain out, while Harrison Barnes is doubtful and Chimezie Metu is also doubtful. So the Kings are expected to be without Fox, Barnes, and Metu today. So that does open up, minutes, especially in the front court, like at the power forward position. So with no Barnes and with no Metu, I don't know what they're going to do with the starting lineup. Lately, or at least last game, they went with Halliburton, Hield, Harkless, Metu, and Rashawn Holmes. So without Metu, the most likely scenario is that Marvin Bagley moves back into the starting lineup. Marvin Bagley did make his return last game. He came off the bench, played 21 minutes. This will be something to keep an eye on because I don't know how many minutes he plays, but if if he's going to get like 25, 30 minutes, if they move him back in the starting lineup, like 4,500 for Marvin Bagley if he's starting and not limited, I mean, he'd be one of the best value plays on the slate. We just don't have that news right now, so I'm not going to plug him into the early core. But obviously, guys, if you want my full updated core plays, those will be posted on Patreon tomorrow close to lock. For now, I'm going to leave Bagley out, but I will be keeping an eye on the Kings starting lineup. Definitely, I think if he starts and he's not limited, he is a really good value play today. Halliburton, I think, is fine as well. He continues to benefit without De'Aaron Fox. Did have a really good game last game against the Lakers. Played 39 minutes, had 50 Draftkings points. We've seen Halliburton have really good games these last few when Fox has been out. We know the minutes are going to be there. So I do have some interest in him. I think at his price point, he feels kind of priced correctly. It's not like he's... I thought when Halliburton was like 6,200, he was, a standout option. Now that he's 7,300, I think he's still viable, but not as much of a priority. Really, the main interest of mine from Sacramento is, with a guy like Marvin Bagley, if he does start. And then DeLon Wright is someone I have some interest in as well. I think, all these guys being out obviously is going to allow someone like Bagley to play more minutes. But they will, switch their lineups up. They'll run, different lineups. They can play small. We saw DeLon Wright play big minutes last game off the bench, played 27 minutes. I'm pretty sure he did play the entire fourth quarter. So I think Metu being out does benefit DeLon Wright. Should allow him to play more minutes off the bench, even though those two guys play different positions. Like, that's just one less body in the rotation. So I'm expecting close to 30 minutes from DeLon Wright off the bench. He's been a relatively productive player this year when he's been with the Kings. I think De'Aaron Fox being out obviously benefits DeLon Wright. At 5K, I definitely have interest in him as well. Him and Bagley, I think, are the two guys I'll be looking to from Sacramento today. I do like Wright at his price on DK, and he's super cheap on Yahoo, so I do like him over there as well, coming in at $12. I think he is a guy that benefits off the bench without Barnes, without Metu, without Fox. We probably get like 28, 30 minutes from Wright today, which makes him very appealing. And then if Marvin Bagley starts and he gets more minutes than he did last game, I think he'll be a really good value play as well. But I don't think I'm considering any other Kings. Rashawn Holmes at 6,500 you could maybe go to. He did play 31 minutes last game. It seems like his minutes are starting to trend up. He probably is going to play like 32, 34 minutes today. So, he has the upside to obviously give you 40-plus DK points when he's getting his full minutes. He'd probably be my next favorite play behind the two value guys we mentioned. Halliburton, I think, is viable too. Buddy Hield at 7K. Like, I'm always hesitant to play Buddy Hield just because he's so scoring dependent. Like, last game, he shot terribly, had a terrible game. I'd rather play guys like Halliburton that can contribute with peripherals. Rashawn Holmes obviously can give you rebounds. Like, if Buddy Hield's not knocking down shots, he's just going to give you a really bad game, and we saw that last game. I'd rather play Halliburton. So for me, on Sacramento, there's a good amount to like here. I think Halliburton, Holmes, Bagley, and Wright are my four favorite options. If Bagley winds up starting and he's not limited, then he probably would be my top play from Sacramento, followed by DeLon Wright. And I think Halliburton and Holmes are also guys we could look to as well. But that probably does it from the Kings side. Terrence Davis might get a few more minutes off the bench. He played 24 last game, 3,500. He's an okay value play, but I don't think he's going to be someone I personally rostered today. So we can go ahead and move on to the Dallas side. So looking at the Mavericks here, we already know that Kristaps Porzingis is going to be out again for this game. He was out Saturday. They've already said that he's going to be out again on Sunday. So without Porzingis, Luka, I don't think he really gets a massive boost. He does see a bump in his usage rate, but his fantasy production this season hasn't really seen a drastic bump whenever Porzingis has been out. But still, the matchup here is good against Sacramento. No Porzingis, Luka should get a lot of usage here. The offense is obviously going to run through him. Right now, he's having a really good game Saturday night against the Wizards. I think he's going to have another good game here Sunday night. Luka is definitely one of my favorite pay-up options. Obviously, great matchup. Game that should stay close. Should be a relatively fast-paced game. This is definitely a pace-up spot for the Mavs, who do play relatively slow. The Kings are one of the faster-paced teams in the league. So I definitely like Luka Doncic today. On DraftKings, he has point guard, small forward eligibility, which I think does make him super appealing. He is one of my favorite stud options right now, and I do like him a lot on Yahoo as well at $53. He's for sure probably my favorite play from this Dallas team, but there are some other guys we can consider from the Mavs. Without Porzingis, that does open up some minutes in the front court. Maxi Kleber, Dwight Powell, Willie Cauley-Stein, I think all these guys see bumps without Porzingis. Maxi Kleber probably is my favorite option, though, at $3,500. I'm expecting him to start, probably play over 30 minutes here. The minutes for Dwight Powell and Willie Cauley-Stein can kind of be inconsistent. Like, even whenever Porzingis is out, like, you'll see those guys sometimes not play a ton of minutes. But Dwight Powell, we know, or not Dwight Powell, but Maxi Kleber, we know is going to get the minutes. Should play 30-plus minutes regardless. He's not He's not a great point per minute player, but at 3,500, it's not like you need him to go out there and give you 40 DK points. Like, even if he plays 30 minutes and gives you 25 DK points, like, that's pretty good for 3,500. He did have a really good game Saturday against the Wizards, or at least he's having a good game right now as I'm recording this video. I think he can keep that up here against Sacramento in another, really good matchup. So definitely like Maxi Kleber for value. He is for sure someone I'm going to be looking to from this Dallas team with Porzingis out again. Maxi Kleber, also very cheap on Yahoo, minimum salary at power forward. Do like him a good amount for value. So I would say Luka and Kleber are my two favorite options. If you want to go to Dwight Powell or Willie Cauley-Stein, you could go there, but it's always tough to predict where the center minutes are going to go for Dallas. Like, they'll split the minutes up. Sometimes they'll let Boban play some. I'd rather just roster Kleber, who I feel pretty safe is going to get 30-plus minutes. And then Tim Hardaway, Josh Richardson, DFS, like, these guys benefit without Porzingis, should get a little bit more usage, but I don't think I'm going to go to any of them on this slate. I think it's really just Luka at the top and then Maxi Kleber for value. Those will be the guys I look to from Dallas. So next game, we got the Knicks and the Rockets. Now, on the Knicks side today, I don't see a ton that really stands out from the Knicks. I think if I had to play anyone, it would be Julius Randle here, but there are some other studs I think I do prefer over Julius Randle today. Barrett and Rose, I think, are viable, but neither one stand out to me on this slate. Like, RJ Barrett's been playing pretty well lately, and he's been getting huge minutes, which is good to see. He had that stretch where he was kind of playing poorly, not getting as many minutes as we would like. Well, now it seems like he's back to playing like 40 minutes a night. At 6,500, he does feel, priced appropriately today, but against the Rockets, pretty good matchup. Don't mind Barrett. Don't mind Derrick Rose either. Should play around 30 minutes off the bench. He's an okay option. I think the return of Alec Burks, does hurt Rose a little bit, but still viable, I guess. Really, though, for me, I think Julius Randle's the guy that stands out the most. If I was going to play anyone on New York today, it would be Julius Randle. On the Houston side, though, looking at the Rockets here, so the Rockets are going to continue to just remain shorthanded. I mean, this team right now is just missing so many guys. I'm pretty sure they ran an 8-man rotation on Saturday against the Warriors. It looks like they're going to have, I think they're going to have 9 bodies today, but we don't exactly know if, like, Anthony Lamb or Jeffries, I think Anthony Lamb did not play Saturday. Let me check that real quick. Pretty sure he was a DMP, but I want to check that, so let's see. So the Rockets, it was a blowout against the Warriors. The Rockets did play 9 guys, but Anthony Lamb only played 7 minutes. I assume those 7 minutes came in blowout, or in the blowout. So you'll probably, if this game's close, you probably get an 8-man rotation from the Rockets, which means you're going to get big minutes from a lot of these guys: Christian Wood, Kevin Porter, Kelly Olynyk, Jae'Sean Tate. At their price points in a pretty bad matchup against the Knicks in a pace down spot, I don't know if any of them stand out as like top plays for me. Obviously, this Rockets team is terrible. They're going to get blown out a lot this season. They got blown out Saturday night against Golden State. This Knicks team is good. Like, this Knicks team could definitely blow out the Rockets here. Right now, I don't know if we have, right now the Knicks are favored by 8, so that's always a concern. But if this game can stay close, you're probably going to get like 35, 40 minutes from Wood, Porter, Olynyk, Tate. They're viable, but I don't know if any of them stand out as like top plays for me in a tough matchup. If I had to play any of them, like if you made me choose one, it would probably be either Kelly Olynyk or Kevin Porter, one of the two. I think I'd probably give the edge to Olynyk just because he's been really good on a point per minute basis lately. Seems like Olynyk's floor is relatively high. Like, even in the blowout, he still had 28 DK points in only 27 minutes. Obviously, he lost a good amount of time there. He was in foul trouble as well on Saturday night, which is obviously something you can't really predict. But yeah, if you made me roster a Rocket today, it probably would be Kelly Olynyk. I don't think I'm considering anyone else, though. Even like the top 3 guys. Outside of the top 3 guys, maybe Tate. I'm not considering any other Rockets. So next game, we got the Sixers and the Spurs. Now, this is one I don't have too much interest in right now. On the Sixers side, they're pretty much fully healthy today. Joel Embiid at 10,400 is someone you can always pay up for. On this slate, though, I think I would rather roster Luka. I think I'd rather roster Julius Randle in a better matchup. It's close between those two, between him and Embiid. But if you force me to play someone on Philly, it would be Joel Embiid. I don't really have any interest in Tobias Harris or Ben Simmons, though. Like, I just haven't been playing these guys. I don't think I'm going to play them on today's slate. Like, Ben Simmons just been so bad lately, even at 7,200. I don't think I'm going to go to him. Tobias Harris at 7K, like, if you made me choose between Simmons or Harris, I'd probably rather get Harris. Like, I'd probably rather play him. But none of them stand out outside of Embiid. I don't really see a ton, though, that I like from the Sixers. Now, on the Spurs side, this is going to be a wait and see for me. Right now, we already know that Derek White's going to be out again. Dejounte Murray, though, is currently questionable, so this is a pretty big injury to watch. If we do get word that Dejounte Murray is out and no Derek White as well, I'm assuming that either like probably either Patty Mills or Trey Jones will start at point guard. Most likely Patty Mills would be the main beneficiary without Dejounte Murray. So 3,100, Patty Mills would be a top value play for me if Dejounte Murray does get ruled out. He would probably have to play over 30 minutes, should have the ball in his hands more, should be their point guard. You probably will get more minutes for Lonnie Walker as well. Maybe Trey Jones gets some run, but I think if Murray gets ruled out, the main guys that I'll be looking to from San Antonio will be Lonnie Walker and Patty Mills. I think DeRozan would get a usage bump as well, so DeRozan would look like a better option. But if Dejounte Murray plays, I don't see too much I like from San Antonio. The Spurs have not really been a team I've rostered much lately, and I don't think I'm going to play any Spurs today if Murray's in. But if Murray does get ruled out, there will be some value to go to here with guys like Patty Mills, Lonnie Walker. I would like a good amount for value. So I think that does it for the Spurs side. We'll go ahead and talk about the next game, Phoenix and OKC. So on Phoenix today, they're pretty much fully healthy. Jay Crowder's out, but I don't think at this point that really impacts too much. Should allow for Mikal Bridges to play big minutes, but do I really want to roster Mikal Bridges? He actually has been good lately, but I don't even think I'm going to go to him on this slate. Just doesn't give you a ton of upside, even though he has scored 33 DK points in 3 straight games. I don't think I'm going to go to Mikal Bridges today. If I was going to play anyone on the Suns, it would be the top 3 guys: Booker, Paul, Ayton. Obviously, this is another game that has a ton of blowout potential. I mean, this OKC team, they're just terrible. Like, they're going to get blown out a ton this year. Right now, Phoenix is favored by 15. Like, there's a very good chance that, Booker, Paul, Ayton, that these guys don't play their full minutes today. But if this game does stay close and we do get full minutes from these guys, I mean, they have a ton of upside here because this OKC team is really bad. They don't, they're not a good defensive team. I think these guys are in play in tournaments, but do they stand out as top plays for me today? No. It just feels like Booker, Paul, they're never priorities for me. They're never core options. I just feel like I never play them. I don't think I'm going to play them on this slate, but the matchup is good. It wouldn't be surprising if you got a ceiling game from one of the two, but I am worried a bit about blowout here. I'm normally not someone that fades guys because of blowout concerns, but this is obviously a game that does have a ton of blowout potential. I mean, this game could be over by the second quarter, and I would not be surprised. But yeah, if you made me play a Phoenix guy, it probably would be like Chris Paul or Booker, one of the two. Paul I usually prefer just because he can do more with the peripherals, gives you triple-double upside. I would probably take him over Devin Booker today. But on the OKC side, I really don't want to roster any Thunder today. This team is just so bad. I don't know. I'm probably not going to go to any Thunder today. Lou Dort was out Saturday, and Poku was out as well. If both those guys are out again, they did go with Charlie Brown in the starting lineup. So Charlie Brown played 27 minutes on Saturday. He had 18 DK points. He's the minimum salary on DK. He's 3K. If he starts again, he probably plays 25 to 30 minutes. I assume he probably got some run in the blowout as well. So, even if this game gets ugly, there's a good chance that Charlie Brown, will still play in the blowout. You could maybe go there. If you force me to roster a Thunder guy today, if Charlie Brown starts again, it would probably be him. But, I'm not playing Baisley at this price in a tough matchup. I'm not playing Moses Brown. His minutes have just been so up in the air. Theo Maledon benefits without Lou Dort, but tough matchup. I don't really want to play Theo Maledon, so overall, there's not much I like from the Thunder today. This is just going to be a team, this has been a team I've been avoiding lately, and I think that's going to be the case once again today. I just really don't like much from OKC outside of maybe Charlie Brown for super cheap if he starts again. But we'll go ahead and talk about the last game of the night. We got the Lakers and the Raptors. So this is one I do have a good amount of interest in. On the Toronto side, we'll need to keep an eye on the injuries here. Toronto is obviously, they've thrown in the towel for the season. They have no interest in winning games right now. They've been resting guys constantly. This is a back-to-back for the Raptors, so there is a good chance we do see some guys rested here. Kyle Lowry rested on Saturday, so I'm assuming that he will play today. But Van Vliet played Saturday. I don't know if he's going to play here on the back-to-back. There's a chance he could be out. Siakam could maybe get rested as well. Assuming that Van Vliet, Siakam, Lowry, assuming they're all in, I don't really see any standout plays from Toronto outside of Keem Birch. I think if you force me to play anyone on the Raptors today, Keem Birch would be the guy that stands out the most. He just continues to get big minutes. He's on pace to play big minutes again on Saturday against the Jazz. I think right now he's having a really good game. At least last time I checked, he had 30 DK points at almost halftime. He was crushing. 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Keem Birch played 22 minutes, had 15 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. 2 steals and a block. So Keem Birch is going off on Saturday. Looks like they're going to continue to give him big minutes. At 5,100, if we get 30-plus minutes from Keem Birch, he has the upside to pay off this price point. He's a really good point-per-minute player. He is definitely my favorite play from this Raptors team, assuming that everyone's healthy. But, if we get word that Van Vliet's out for rest, if Siakam rests, Then we can look to Kyle Lowry, assuming he plays. We can look to Malachi Flynn. Maybe OG rest. Like, I don't really know. Just keep an eye on the injury report. Toronto, obviously a team that at this point we don't really know what they're going to do on a night-to-night basis. They have no interest in winning games. They're going to rest guys a lot. We could definitely see some rest here, but Kim Birch I like the most from the Raptors for sure. 5,100. While Chris Boucher remains out and Kim Birch gets the big minutes, he's going to be someone I look to roster, especially at that price point. Now on the Lakers side, LeBron did make his return last game. He played pretty good minutes. He played 32 minutes in his first game back, had 40 DK points. Right now he is listed as questionable, so we don't exactly know if he's going to play today. I would assume that he's going to play. You know, it seems like they do this like every season. They just list LeBron as questionable every game, and he usually always winds up playing. So for now, I'm going to assume LeBron plays. At 10K, I don't really have much interest in him. But Anthony Davis at 9,100, I do like quite a bit. He's also listed as probable, so you know I assume he'll play. He's been probable like all these games lately. We did get 34 minutes from Anthony Davis last game, and he was really productive. Had one of his better games since returning. Had 51 DK points in those 34 minutes. 22 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, and 5 blocks. Like, we know Anthony Davis is a very high upside player. Obviously, once he returned from injury, there was going to be some rust. He didn't really have any good games for, the first 3, but the last 2 games have looked a lot better for AD. He's looked like himself. 44 DK points in 31 minutes against the Wizards, 51 DK points in 34 minutes against Sacramento. If this game against the Raptors stays close, I think we get 32, 34 minutes from AD, maybe more. This is someone that has 55, 60-point upside basically every night. If LeBron gets ruled out, that just makes me like Anthony Davis even more. So even at 9,100, I think people are not going to really go to AD today, but I do like him a good amount as a pay-up option. I think he does stand out at this price point. This is normally someone that we see priced close to 10K when he's fully healthy, and at this point, I think we can say that AD is pretty much fully healthy, given he played 34 minutes last game. And then on Yahoo, like, I'm just going to keep playing Anthony Davis on Yahoo. He's still way too cheap over there. $34. I don't know what they're doing, but they're just so slow to adjust his price. I mean, Anthony Davis, once again, is a free square on Yahoo. He's going to be one of the first guys in my lineup. So definitely like AD. He's my favorite Laker today. I don't think I'm playing anyone else on the Lakers, though. Like Dennis Schroeder at 6,900, I don't really like. With LeBron back, especially if LeBron plays today, I don't really want to go to Schroeder. Kuzma I have no interest in now that LeBron and AD are back. Drummond, I guess you could roster at 7,300, but I think he does take a hit with AD, back and playing full minutes now. So really, it's just AD for me, and that's probably it from the Lakers. I don't see too much else I like on this team outside of Anthony Davis. So that does it for the Lakers side, and that does it for all 7 games on the slate, guys. So appreciate you watching the video as always. Hope you did enjoy this little game-by-game breakdown. If you did enjoy, just hit that like button down below. Click that subscribe button as well, and also be sure to hit the notification bell so that way you do get notified every time I upload, and you do get notified every time I live stream. Like I said at the beginning of the video, guys, if you do want more updated content from me, after news comes out during the day, if you want to get my full thoughts on the slate, my updated core plays, you want to get in our Discord chat, that is available for Patreon members. So if you want to become a Patreon member, you want to see more that I have to offer over there, you can check that out, link down below in the description. You can see all that I have to offer on Patreon. But that pretty much does it, guys. Best of luck on the slate. I appreciate you watching the video. I hope you did enjoy, and we will see you in the next one. Good luck tonight, guys. Peace.